didn't decide to crash instantaneously this time. Okay. Great. Perfect start. So, welcome back to the next session of the Wings of Lunannon campaign, where in the last session we had a lot of chaos in the reveal of one of the party members, Jasper, being a werewolf, who has turned one of the other party members into a werewolf, and what appears to be Jasper's brother. After this event, there was a fight that broke out in an attempt to quote unquote quell Jasper. However, that didn't exactly go to plan. Xanis got injured during the process of that, and Mira decided it'd be a genius idea to lure said werewolves back to the guild with beef jerky. Outside of that, the only other thing of major note is that you guys have, I think the last part of the session was the remaining conscious characters being very much made aware that they are on Zivy's shit list. So you are now on the shit list of the Guildmaster's right-hand man, or partner, whichever you prefer to refer to them to as. So, with that in mind, we will start with Milo, Penton, and Alice, who are currently in the guild's bedroom, basically inside your room at the guild. Mira is not currently in the room with you. Father Bear and Mado are not in the room with you. Kay is not in the room with you, and Xanis is not in the room. So it's just the three of you.
Oh, how's Rosemary doing?
Your lovely companion Rosemary, I don't know why I said it like that, just felt like it. Rosemary herself has been pretty much restless since she hasn't been able to access Carl, and so has been very much mother henning, no pun intended, over you, Milo, since the technical separation of the two. So when you wake up, Rosemary is borderline laying basically bird loafing on top of you.
Oh dear.
Aside from that, it is just you, Alice, and Penton in the room.
Good morning. How are we all? Oh, classic response, guys.
A bit shaken up, I suppose, but otherwise okay.
Yeah, to be honest, I don't really know what to think about the fact that, everyone's a werewolf now.
I don't think everyone's a werewolf, but
well,
sure.
For all I know, you're one.
Last I checked, I wasn't.
Well, I don't know. Didn't think Jasper was, did I?
Well, if I was, I would have transformed as well.
Well, I don't know. Maybe.
Oh God, that scared the shit out of me. Sorry, carry on.
Look, Alice is not the smartest person. What are your plans for the day then, Penton?
Well, now that you mention it, things have been very, very tense, very high octane, very borderline scary. Why don't we go out and have a little fun?
Oh, well,
Define fun.
Well,
come on, Milo.
I was thinking of taking Alice out for the day to do some activities. Show her my line of work.
That sounds amazing. I need to get out of this
Plus,
slab.
we have this big old warhammer here that we just kept hold of that we need to get rid of, so we're going to try and sell it.
Alright then. You two have fun with that.
Yeah, we're gonna make a bit of money, and then I'm gonna be rich the same way that Penton is rich, you know? Not rich from the nobility.
Okay.
People don't want to be nobles anymore.
So, what are you two
Wow,
doing?
so enthusiastic. Let's go sell the hammer!
So, Alice and Penton leave the room with Warhammer Shed basically being half and half carried between them, preparing to go and sell it. Milo, you are still pinned underneath Rosemary at the moment, who is being very stubborn and very overly mother-henning right now.
Can I attempt to persuade Rosemary to let me go?
Yes, you may attempt to convince the big bird to get off of you. Roll persuasion. Persuading a fucking bird, man.
Nat 20! 22
Yes.
total.
You definitely succeed in convincing Rosemary to get
Oh
off.
my god.
You feel like
Um,
I'm gonna roll for this actually. Yeah, from where she's been laying on you, like one of your your left arm feels a little bit dead from where she's been laying on you. But aside from that, you know, you're generally fine.
Hmm. I mean, if you wanted to do animal handling, if we use the same roll, it'd be 24 total.
Use persuasion because of thing that me and you have planned for Rosemary.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, so I assume Carl was probably still in the infirmary.
Yeah. After being turned into a werewolf, Carl is definitely still in the infirmary. Like pretty much everyone involved in that incident has been in the infirmary and has not been allowed to leave the infirmary.
Mm. So I'm gonna go and get some breakfast.
Okay. So you are the only one out of your guild group currently that is in the building. So as you head out, it feels very, very lonely because once again, it's just you sitting at that table having breakfast. You do, however, I'm going to use your passive perception for this. You do notice that 3 chairs at the Wolverine Elite's table is empty. The seats where Lupus, Ziffy, and the space-colored, spacey fur-colored Elite, all 3 of their chairs are empty.
Interesting. I wonder what they're up to. Oh shit. Oh shit, I'm now knocking everything off my desk. Don't mind me.
I feel that. So, are you going to go into the infirmary after having breakfast to find out what's going on?
Yeah, I'll see if I'm allowed into the infirmary. I don't know if they'll keep people out or anything.
So, as you kind of just make your way to the infirmary, the door is there is a sign on the door that reads only emergencies only on the door. Now you are aware from the 1 or 2 times you've been in there that the entire infirmary itself is separated into wards, so you can enter, but you don't currently know which of the wards Carl and the others are being kept in.
Ah.
So up to you. You can attempt to go in and find out and find where everyone is, or you can have a wander around and wait to find out what's going on.
I think I'll wander around.
Okay. So give me 2 seconds. Just arranging my notes to work out what segment I'm doing next. Yeah, fuck it, we'll jump into this one. So, inside the infirmary, while Milo, you can go on mute as you're now wandering around the guild and being pursued very closely by Rosemary, who is refusing to leave you alone. Inside the infirmary, Jasper, you regain consciousness and sit up. In this room with you is the unconscious form of Xanis in a couple of beds over, the unconscious form of Kay, who is sitting on sitting up in her bed. Lupus with his rapier, basically his hand on his rapier. Ziffy, who is fully like weapon loaded, ready to retrank. Mira, who is still fully unconscious on the bed. Basically, every single one of you that were either turned or tranked is in this room, including Lupus and Ziffy themselves, armed to the teeth. And surprisingly enough, both Father Bear and Mado, despite their wounds clearly having been tended to, that are more than plenty prepared to assist in the neutralizations should you attempt to fight them. What are you doing?
I'm gonna ask Lupus, where's Abraham?
Lupus scowls at you for a moment, clearly not impressed with what happened the evening before, and just waves the hand that is not holding the rapier towards the bed to your right. So the other side of you, where Xanis is not, where Abraham is currently chained to said bed. He can sit up, but he is not able to move out of the bed because his legs have been chained down.
Oh my god, they chained him to the...
What are you gonna do?
No, is he awake?
No, he is not.
He's asleep, okay. Wearing anything?
Sorry, can you repeat?
Am I wearing anything?
Yes, you are wearing a very, very basic hospital gowns. But that's about it. So, basically a thin blue sheet, and that's it.
Look around, see if anyone has my diary. Just looking around, because I feel like Lupus is not going to like any more questions. Sorry.
You do take a look around. When you do take a look around, going to use your passive perception here, you do notice that someone does, in fact, have your diary. It's the same Wolvenite who was conversing with Lupus over some recent reports that your group have handed in about the bounty camp and other things. The space-colored Wolvenite who is currently flicking through the pages of said book.
Oh, hey, give that. That's personal, mate. Come on. I'm gonna reach out and try and grab it slowly.
The moment you begin to start reaching towards the diary, You hear the cocking of a heavy weapon, and the end of Ziffy's sniper rifle is basically pointed directly at your forehead. Which is when Lupus speaks up. No, quite frankly, you are in no position to demand things at the moment, Mr. Hyde.
You knew this was going to happen.
Yes, I was aware that this might happen. However, what I expected was for you to inform the rest of your group of what happened to you. Unfortunately, it was a bit too far-fetched to assume that nobility would, for once, actually be open about themselves and not try to hide everything behind a web of lies. And it looks like he's having like some form of like flashback and remembering a similar incident that's occurred before along this line. Anyway, Mr. Hyde, I would like to know who this man is, and I would like to know what you intend to do with the fact that he is here, because quite frankly, I would end his life were it not for the fact that you and he look oddly similar, dare I say, relatives of sort.
He's my brother. Older brother, obviously.
So you're telling me you came to my guild, and you signed up with us, and went through the complete thing of initiation, fully aware that not only had you been attacked by a werewolf, but that your sibling was also infected and a werewolf, and rather than notifying us that your said sibling was in the area, you decided that it would be a good idea for you to hide all of this information from all of us. What was your game plan here? You walk into a guild full of Wolvernites. A fair percentage of us are Lycans that have control over our power. But you walk in with injuries that have clearly not been treated very well during the middle of a recent werewolf attack, and think that you're able to slip it by us. What did you expect to achieve?
Well, I was going to find him, find some way to cure it or get rid of it.
And you
Go
decided not to ask for help from the rest of the guild. You don't think that, considering our guild name is literally the Sleeping Wolves, that we would have some degree of information about this? You nobles are all the same. You hide behind your lies, thinking that you're better than everyone else, and then when you get exposed like this, you can't say anything to defend yourselves. Quite frankly, Mr. Hyde, I need you to be blunt with me. Your brother, was he the one that infected you?
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
That's good to know then. Now let me ask you this. Were myself and my companion here, one of my elites, Nova, were to know of a cure that could resolve your lycanthropy, would you take it?
Yeah.
Even if it meant that there was a 50-50 coin flip that you might die during the process?
Maybe. Maybe.
I see. Well, it would seem that both you, your brother, and Carl don't seem to be in any way, shape, or form going to be turning back anytime soon. So, I'll let Nova handle the rest of the details. Myself, Ziffy, and your two mentors will be waiting outside of this room while Nova explains the situation. At this point, Lupus, Ziffy, Father Bear, and Mado all walk out of the room, leaving you with the space-colored Wolverine who was reading through your diary, who proceeds to put the book in one of his carry pouch. You are Mr. Hyde, correct?
Yep.
So, as the Guildmaster has said, I am Nova. I will be the one that pretty much decides what happens from here on with how we handle your cure. Now, as the Guildmaster has said, there is a cure that does have a 50-50 survival rate, but it does instantaneously cure the problem. There are a couple of other solutions, but they're not exactly pleasant.
Go on.
The first is to push further down the path of lycanthropy and learn to control it. However, going further in to said lycanthropy you will not be able to fully remove it from your system. You can accept to take on one of the pacts with the Guildmaster, which will remove your lycanthropy, but will forever change you to be one of us Wolverinites. You can go to one of the many lycanthropy asylums that are run by the Varg, and eventually hope that you are cleared of the condition by their treatments. Or we can give you a medicine that is made of silver powder. Essentially, you'll be poisoning the werewolf out of your body, should you wish that badly for it to be cured.
Probably the last one, yeah.
I see. And you would like your brother to undergo the same thing? Or would you prefer that we deal with your brother in a more humane way? As one of the Cosmon family, I have had more than my fair share of neutralizing werewolves, be it in a death sense or in a sense of forcefully removing certain parts of werewolves, we'll put it that way. He looks at you.
What would you do?
Well, quite simply, I'd amputate his legs.
Wow.
Maybe vicious, but it certainly works. Because you can't infect anyone if you can't move.
Mm-hmm. Maybe we should wait until he wakes up to make any decisions for him.
Well, let's just put it this way. At the moment, your brother is on a very thin wire. Should he choose not to have his lycanthropy cured, he will likely be put towards the death penalty. He has severely injured the Guildmaster's son, and has... how do we word this? Has caused enough of a problem with the locals that, quite frankly, having an out-of-control werewolf on the loose is just danger for everyone that's involved. So I would very much appreciate it if when your brother wakes up, you have a very firm conversation with him. He'll likely be out of it for the next day or two, thanks to the Guildmaster's right hand tranquilizing him. But you are currently free to wander the grounds, but you will not be capable of leaving. And that's when you realize that you feel there's something cold around your ankle. And you've only really just noticed it.
Will they fucking tag me?
Yes. As you look down at your ankle, you realize there is a metal brace with a small gem wedged inside of it. It would appear that you have been tagged.
What are the consequences of my own actions?
No, to almost as if to ensure that you are aware of what happens, Nova waves one of his hands towards it, and your entire body immediately goes stiff, as though you've been paralyzed in place. Just so you are aware of what will happen should you try to flee. You and your brother will face the consequences of your actions, whether you nobility like it or not. Now, I must bid you adieu, as the Guildmaster has asked me to deal with more of the library and information gathering. I will return your diary to you, but I would very, very much suggest that you do not attempt to stab the guild in the back. And with that, Nova leaves the room. Clearly not the most social or well-versed person in sugarcoating it. There you go, that's the word. Not very good at sugarcoating it, but he makes a good point. Around this point is where Mira starts to rouse from her sleep. Having been tranquilized, like the other two werewolves, in Mira's hand, she is still holding a piece of beef jerky.
What a nice sleep that was.
I'm grabbing it. Might as well.
Why am
Okay.
I
Mine.
holding?
Mine.
Yeah.
I grab it, put it in my mouth, I chew it, I swallow it.
Okay.
Just I've been conscious for 5 seconds. Can you please just?
Mira, in the 5 seconds you've been conscious, Jasper has moved over to you, taken the beef jerky out of your hand, because you've not really been conscious enough to actually, apply any form of grip, and has just inhaled the beef jerky.
That was going to be my breakfast. Oh dear. That's okay. I can just get some more, I guess. That felt like the best sleep I've ever had. Maybe I should ask Sophie to track me again.
It was like the worst sleep I've ever had.
Really? I have not slept well in years, but oh well. Are you okay?
Never been worse.
That's your brother, isn't it?
Yeah.
He looks a bit worse for wear, doesn't he?
Kind of always looks like that. He's a bit dirty, to be honest.
Dirty? I mean, maybe a bit. I guess that's what happens after you transform back.
You okay, Victoria?
Yes, I think I've just got a get the rest of it out of my senses, I suppose. America just can't stop staring at Abraham. Is he your only brother, or have you got more siblings?
No. I have many.
You have many. Why? Who else?
What was that?
Who else?
Oh, I have like 3 at the island. I'm tired.
Oh,
Yeah, 3 other brothers and 2 sisters.
wow. That seems like such a large family to have. I mean, I'm only
Yeah.
a single child, but, well, I do have a lot of other family with me. It's nice to have a big family.
Except when this happens. Yeah.
Yeah. I suppose lycanthropy in the family isn't exactly a good thing. I, well, uh, you know, you may be feeling a bit lonesome after what happened, but you can always talk to me about anything if you need to.
Yeah, I can now. I mean, it's awful what happened, but at least I don't have this big secret that I'm keeping from everyone now.
And I don't blame you. It would be hard for anyone to speak up about it.
Thanks, Marion.
It's okay. I got your back.
Mira, as you come out with that, you feel a pair of eyes. It almost feels like someone is trying to bore a hole in the back of your head. Like someone is giving you a death stare. Do you turn around to see who is looking at you?
Yeah, I guess I can't look at Abraham for the rest of my life.
As you turn your head around, you realize that Kay is full on scowling at you in disappointment.
Okay, are you okay?
Yes, I'm fine now. It's not a hard secret to keep. It's called being. Never mind. You're not mentally mature enough for it, and I'm sure Mr. Hyde over there is too busy thinking about what to do with his brother. I'm gonna be helping Carl go and find Milo. So
Okay.
I'll leave you to it. Have fun. And with that, Kay helps the semi-conscious Carl, who has been trying to stand up for the last minute or so, off the floor, and helps carry Carl out of the infirmary, leaving just the two of you alone.
What does she mean about mentally mature? I know lots of things.
Anyway, I'm assuming you two are going to carry on having a conversation while you're waiting for Abraham to potentially wake up,
Yeah.
because he got hit with the trank straight in the neck.
Oh.
So he might be out for a while. Anyway, out in town are Alice and Penton looking to do something with that warhammer. What are you doing? Penton, you're on mute still.
First of all, gonna go buy some. Is it fairy tonic?
Yep, I believe that's it. Let me have a double check for you. I make noises with my mouth. We need eventually I'm going to end up making an entire compilation with all of the other VODs of times that I start singing. Huh. I'm just making weird noises. That'd be like half an hour of just me making.
We need to have like a compilation of just every time where someone goes and it ends up just being like the length of about 5 sessions.
It would not surprise me the amount of weird noises I fucking.
Yeah, no, I really wouldn't.
Fairy. Yep, it is fairy tonic. So if you want to purchase one of those, it'll be 300 gil.
I'll purchase 5.
Okay. So you end up handing over the appropriate gil to the vendor, who seems a bit confused. But can you please remove 1,500 gil from your overall total? So anyway,
Okay.
you now have these fairy tonics on you. What are you doing with them?
1,500, sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm going to give one to Alice and one for myself.
Mm-hmm.
So
for the next
here,
3
Alice, drink this. This will make you smarter. It'll be
Oh,
necessary for the
I've
next part.
always needed something to make me smarter, honestly.
So as you both drink them, you now have +4 to your, you have +4 to your intelligence for the next 3 minutes.
And I'm going to have what's it called again? I keep forgetting. Pirate's drink. I'm going to drink that as well.
Okay. So if you want to go into your, I believe it's the combat page. Yeah. On your
I've already done
combat. Yeah, I'm also saying this for Alice.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
It's on your combat page under the temp stat boost part. If you want to just put 4 next to your intelligence modifier, it's that little blank space. I can show you on your sheet if you need me to.
Oh, yeah. I
See
see.
it? Okay. So yeah, just pop the 4 in there, and it should bump your modifier up to the correct number.
Cool.
Congrats on not having a minus in your brain.
I know. I got a +1, guys.
Congrats. Anyway, moving swiftly onwards, you have 3 minutes. What are you doing, Penton?
Right, I'm going to say we've already like made ourselves look the part for this. So
Yeah, obviously.
More tattered, more dirty. We're going to go find somebody.
Okay.
We're going to find a traveling merchant who looks like they are wealthy.
Roll
I've never sold anything in my life. This is so exciting.
Can you roll perception for me, both of you, to see if you can spot a wealthy-looking merchant who has set up part of their like traveling caravan, if you will, in this marketplace.
I rolled a 9.
Let's find perception. Hang on a second. It's in social, isn't it?
Yeah.
Perception, yeah.
Oh, wow, I did not realise that.
What did you roll?
Fuck, I rolled a 19.
Okay, so Alice, you have no idea what you're actually looking for because you don't know the difference between a poor travelling merchant and a wealthy travelling merchant. However, Penton, with borderline like eagle-eyed, his rabbit brain goes, "Aha! I see one," and immediately starts basically pulling you towards a very wealthy-looking travelling merchant.
Ahoy there! That's what they say, right? Ahoy. Anyways.
Let me do the talking.
No. Oh, okay.
Savage. Okay. So.
Hello.
Oh, sorry. This merchant, I would like to clarify, is dressed in regal-looking silks, and his clothing has what look like sparkling gems in them. However, much to your dismay, it is a Moogle.
I think we'll find somebody else.
So, I would like to clarify that this Moogle seems to be the wealthiest looking of the travelling merchants.
Yes, but it can't talk.
A Moogle can talk. It's a Moomba that can't talk.
Oh, okay.
Don't worry, you'll eventually learn the difference. They sound very similar.
I guess we'll give it a go then.
Go for it.
Male or female?
You cannot currently tell because it's very it's a bit difficult to distinguish them visually.
Oh, hello there. Well, you look like a kind-hearted and honourable and regal person. I was wondering if you could help me out. I have an excellent opportunity for you. We a bit of a unique situation here, if you're willing to hear me out.
The Moogle looks at you and does like a what I can only describe as like a thinking emote pose, and is looking at you as though to say, "Go on."
I'm going to turn to Alex and say, bring it out, dear," as in bring out the hammer.
Here, I got the hammer. It's even inscripted with HV on it, which is, you know, the name of my deceased grandfather. Yeah, and just you know, Hero Werner, a deceased soldier and a war hero. And I like hand it towards the merchant.
The merchant. The merchant goes to pick up the goes to carry like the warhammer as he passes it over. Its little wings keeping it in the air as this thing is small in body size. It flutters over and just about manages to hold this warhammer without it getting immediately yoinked to the floor because of the weight of it, and looks it over. Oh god, this is gonna be such a fucking meme. Well, Cooper, it seems legit. Yeah, I hate that already. He looks it over, and I'm going to get him to roll an appraisal check on that.
Appraisal.
Yep. Yeah, no. He rolled below a 10, so he does not see through the fact that this is clearly the same warhammer you looted off of a.
As my wife said, this warhammer was owned by the one and only Hero Werner, an amazing decorated war hero who just so happens to be her grandfather. And the reason we're giving it away is it was the only thing that he left to her, and it's been a family heirloom, and it's been praised and treasured, but unfortunately, we've come into hard times recently. See, there was a fire at our cabin when we were away for a walk, and it's the only thing that was left. We've kept it around, we've held on to it. Didn't want to get rid of it, but we have no money, we have nothing. Could you please see it in your heart to give us some money to live off this?
Roll deception.
What does my deception become if my charisma modifier has gone up by 2?
It will automatically calculate it for you.
Oh, okay. Fucking hell.
I have your DC.
That is a 25.
Okay, so you managed to deceive the Moogle, who after some debate offers you 10,000 gil for the warhammer.
Okay, out of character, how much is that?
That is.
Would that be enough for someone to live off of, or are they being cheap?
Typically, you would be. Typically, it would mean that you are paying about 15,000 gil for a warhammer, and traditionally, you would be forced to pay about. Well, they would buy it for about 7,500. So what you're getting offered right now is well above the price they should be purchasing it for. If you want, you can try and push it, or you can accept the price that you're being offered currently.
Look, we've been through some really tough times, you know, and we just need something to live off of. You seem like a very kind-hearted fellow, and I just, you know, we just need to support ourselves. and our family. You know, we would appreciate, you know, as much as you've got, really.
Alice, roll deception.
I give advantage.
Nope.
Why not?
Because you've
The
already
master of deception.
you've already spoken up.
11.
Yeah, no.
Oh no.
He is this Moogle is very much set on 10,000, take it or leave it. At least from what you are offering in terms of trying to push for pity points. Your wish for pity points is not working at all. So you can take the 10,000, or you can try a different method of quote-unquote persuading, be it via trying to persuade that it's worth more than it actually is, or you can try and intimidate him into raising how much he's giving you for it. Otherwise, take it or leave it.
So 10,000 is not that much for an item of this quality. I mean, you can see it, feel the weight of it. It's good, solid, hard steel. It's even signed by him himself. This is a one-of-a-kind piece of... This is a one-of-a-kind collectible. There's nothing like it in the world. 10,000 seems very low, I'm sorry. But we could barely get by on that.
The Moogle doesn't believe you about the weight, because Moogles naturally have a -2 to their strength. However, he is willing
How
to...
does he not believe about the weight? He doesn't know. Then he doesn't know how heavy it is. It's just heavy to him.
Exactly, which means referencing the weight is a non-factor in this situation.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
Are you going to... Well, actually, yeah. Can you roll me a persuasion, please?
Persuasion.
Yes.
I just rolled another deception. Damn it! I hope I didn't waste that because that was a really high roll.
You can use the same roll, just different modifier.
Oh, okay. Well, I rolled a 24.
24? Yeah. He says that he takes a moment to ponder, and after that offers the same price as the Warhammer would naturally come of 15,000, but will not take any further pushes.
Thank you, sir. You are most kind. We will remember this.
God bless
money.
you.
You are given the 15,000 gil. He takes the Warhammer. So, whichever one of you has that in your inventory, can you please remove it?
It might be me. Although
I think
don't
you have it.
Yeah. It'll be in your inventory because it's labelled as Alice's name on the side of it.
Okay.
So much fun. And we got so much money.
We could have done better, but for a first time, that was pretty impressive, I gotta say.
Is this what you do for a living?
Well, I shouldn't really tell, but what I do for fun.
So you're not really a bard?
I was never a bard, I was a travelling merchant.
Is that what you introduced yourself as?
That is, out of character, that is what he introduced himself as. A merchant that was attacked on his travels.
Oh, I don't know why I thought bard.
It's fine.
Because of my last character was a bard. Out of character.
Yeah, I don't know. So you're not really
you might
a
have a
merchant.
future in this. You say me and you team up like this more often. Introduce a bit of chaos into your life. You said you wanted to get away from the monotony of the noble life and all these rules and regulations and manners. Well, why don't you hang out with me for a while and we can introduce a little chaos to this town.
I like your thinking. I do dislike the noble life and would wish for something more fun, something, you know, fewer rules, fewer boundaries. Both of us, Lupus.
I mean, if either of you wants to roll seduction at this point, it will be a pretty good. More looking at Penton here. Penton, you are the one making the advance here, so if you wish, you can roll seduction against Alice.
What do you say we make this partnership official?
Alice,
Roll
Alice, you're gonna try and resist. Are you gonna try and resist this, or are you just gonna let it happen? This will decide whether.
I gotta resist a little bit. Gotta play hard to get. Come on.
Okay, Penton, roll seduction, please.
Come on, +7. No, oh yeah, it is. Yeah, because of using that one up with the tonic.
Yeah, this will be the last that the tonic is in effect. So, basically, after
22.
let me check for you. Oh, just off.
Just off.
Your DC was 24.
24. Damn.
So, Alice, you kind of feel a little flustered by this, but you've dealt with nobles trying to hit on you before. But, you know, this rabbit man seems to be willing to introduce some chaos into your life. Maybe he might be the one to swing about with, you know? I can't think of a good euphemism, so that's just what I'm gonna go with.
Well, what do you say we use some of this money and go get a drink, eh?
Sounds like a good plan to
The
me.
victor go the spoils.
Anyway,
We should definitely get drunk together and go back to the guild, and they won't know.
Just go back smashed.
They're all sitting in the infirmary, being eaten by werewolves. We're just getting drunk.
Suckers.
anyway, with you two heading
Mira
off to one of...
only wishes she could have this much fun.
Anyway, moving swiftly onwards, Alice and Penton, please go on mute. Milo, you've been wandering around with Rosemary basically stalking you everywhere you go. However, as you round a corner, you somehow have wound your way back and basically wound around the entire building and ended up back at the infirmary. Nova has Nova walk past you, and exiting out of the door is Carl, being partially carried by Kay. So this 6'3" Vieira tiefling male is currently being propped up by a 4'7" child, basically.
I'm going to start approaching him, but I've just realised the moment Rosemary lays her eyes with bloody Carl, she's going to charge. Oh god!
Yeah, Rosemary starts charging.
I'm just going. Oh fuck!
Yeah, unfortunately for you, Milo, I need you to roll a dex save for me. As you hear a and then a straight behind you.
I've gone right out of my bloody tray.
As you can hear Rosemary's talons slamming against the floor behind you as she starts sprinting full speed towards Carl.
I rolled 18.
You just manage to move out the way as you feel the brush of feathers past your face, as Rosemary basically ends up cannonballing Kay out of the way. Carl falls on top of Rosemary, and Rosemary proceeds to start sprinting down the hallway back towards the guild room with a flopped Carl over her back.
Oh my... Kay, are you alright? I'm sorry about that.
Strangely enough, she starts giggling. And she starts propping herself to get back up. But she's just giggling, because just the whole incident itself is kind of funny to her. She looks up at Milo. Hey, Milo?
Yeah?
Do you want to go to the library together?
Sure. I'd love to.
She has a sweet little smile on her face, and she starts talking to you about medicine.
Milo's eyes lit up the moment she starts talking about it.
And you notice that she brings up something very, very specific. As she starts talking about a flower that you've heard before, but very vaguely, called wolfsbane, which is supposed to be the flower itself is pretty freaking vicious towards those of a lichen biology. But, strangely enough, she mentions something that she found in her father's library back on the island of Colaris. Well, I was going to ask if you want me to try and make a cure for your brother? I know wolfsbane can be quite deadly if not used correctly, but it could be a bit more of a quicker route. I don't imagine that Rosemary would very much appreciate watching Carl get progressively more and more sick from the silver powder medicine.
Thinks about it for a second. I don't know. I think it's more of a question to ask Carl. He's different to me in this aspect. If I was the one that had been infected, I'd probably go for it, but I think Carl would choose to try to control it. I don't know.
Kay thinks for a moment before looking back up at you. Well, maybe if he can't control it, it'd be good to have it as a backup.
Yeah.
I would do it myself, but I can't touch the flower because,
Yeah, I understand.
My father's a wolvenite. It's not exactly the safest thing for me to go near.
Understandable.
As you two arrive at the library, you two end up spending an hour or two looking at different types of plant. Strangely enough, it seems like the plants that you would need to try and concoct said medicine are actually pretty local to the area of Lenfar, though they're a little bit out more toward. Some of the plants are more towards the forest, where you were recently attacked by the Abaddon. Some are more towards other towns. However, there's one specific town that's mentioned amongst this big golf list. There's a lot of different places. You kind of are forced to take oh my god, hiccups. Why? Forced to take a step back and realize how many cities and towns are on the island of Girathina. Not just Lenfar itself, not just the town of Lenfar itself. And there's one specific town that is mentioned for one of these plants. Well, the majority of these plants tend to end up circulating through two different relatively big cities towards the south. The city of Magnolia and the city of Lilyford. Both of which are more towards the south, but it looks like it's a pretty easy trip if you end up going through the towns of Dolur, Nyx, and Floss. I heard you giggle. Don't. I got names. So what? But no, that looks like the easiest route to find these plants. So a potential cure for your brother, and in the back of your mind, maybe Jasper, if you end up deciding that he's worth the redemption.
How did you know?
But Kay specifically seems to be focused way too much on Carl, and you notice at no point has she has she at all mentioned Jasper or his brother at any point during this?
Deliver that.
Which kind of says a lot about her mental allegiances here. Seems much more interested in helping Carl and you via extension rather than, you know, the rest of your group who, well, I say rest of the group, the one other person within your group who seems to be the one that would need it the most.
Yep.
So, you two end up doing that for a little while. Meanwhile, Mira, you have been asked to exit the room as Priscilla needs to tend to Jasper and Abraham. So you are now kind of pushed out of the room by Priscilla, who seems very, very nice and gentle, and you notice there are a couple of patients outside of the room that seem to be staring at Priscilla, and a couple of times you hear them discussing about her thighs and her chest. It seems a couple of these patients are a bit more perverse than would initially be expected, but you end up leaving the room leaving the infirmary as you have a bit more of something planned after your conversation with Milo recently.
I wonder why they're talking about her thighs and breasts. I didn't realize that she had chickens. Yeah, can I go see if Asta is around?
Yep. So you end up
My best friend Asta.
You kind of end up beelining back to where you encountered Asta before, and much as you had expected, the hyena folk male is currently sitting at a table, looking through some plans and information, and it seems as though it's not just your group that's going to be involved in handling Mace, which, just for clarification, is M-A-S-E, not M-A-C-E.
It was maze.
But no, Mace is obviously enough of a threat that a lot of the guild members are being called to deal with the problem.
Oh gosh. Okay. I'm gonna go over to him and I'm gonna wave first and see if he looks up.
He looks at you and lets out a mildly frustrated sigh. What?
Well, I just wanted to apologize for before. I was told that what I did wasn't exactly appropriate.
He frowns. Doesn't seem entirely offended by the fact that you're in the same place that he is. Go on.
Well, they said that when you told me to leave you alone, that I should have left you alone, and you maybe actually just don't like me, and you're not just in a bad mood, and maybe the fact you're in a bad mood was because that I was there.
Something really strange happens. This hyena folk male that you have seen done nothing but scowl and look like he's about to rip your head off of your shoulders, smiles.
So, yeah, I'm sorry, and if you don't want to talk to me, that's okay. I can just leave you alone if you want.
almost it's almost strange. The fact that he is still kind of smiling, not so much now. It goes from like an almost evilish kind of grin to half amused. For an Atisa girl, you're not too bad. Keep working at it, kid. Don't be like the rest of your family.
Thank you, Asta.
Now, if you wouldn't mind, I'd appreciate a bit of peace and quiet. You're not the only group that's going to be dealing with mace. My group's been called on as well. Group H? Sound familiar? Probably not. But we'll be coming with. As damage
okay.
control.
Well, I look forward to working with you, and well, thanks for talking with me.
And he just shrugs and goes back to his papers again.
I'll leave him be.
Okay. So, as that is happening... Oh, God, I've got to find it again. Where is it? Numbers, words, existence... Ah, there it is. So, as that is happening, the group is kind of scattered all over the place. Some of you are in the town, some of you are coming back from the town, some of you are in the infirmary, some of you aren't. You're kind of all scattered all over the place, but all of you hear a very similar thing, almost as if a message has just kind of been slid into your ear, requesting that all of you please return to your guild room, as you will all be required for a large task that is coming. Slid into your ear, not your rear.
Oh, if only.
So, you have all been basically asked to gather into one space. Are you all returning?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's not like I can go anywhere.
Yeah.
Jasper has been confined.
Good.
Yes.
So, as you all return, you end up, space of the group starts kind of slowly trickling in. You find that, everybody's gathered together in that one space. But surprisingly enough, Mado is also in this room with you. With Lupus presiding over the rest of you. Right, is everybody here?
Is everyone here?
Yeah.
Hello.
Okay.
I think so.
What's that voice?
I'm aware Mr. Hyde is here because he's sitting there in the corner looking grumpy. I've gathered you all together to notify you that Mado Pater, the person that you recently apprehended for us, will be joining your group as an official member. Are there any complaints to this?
No.
Down here, no.
Don't think so.
Good. I should also notify you all that your fellow guild member, i.e. my son, has made a full recovery.
Oh, that's good.
And popping out from behind Lupus is the energetic, and very overly expressive face of Xanis, who immediately lets out a very childish screech and jumps and tries to hug, tackle hug Milo, Penton, and Alice, as those were the three that were as I imagine the three of them standing closest to each other.
Oh.
Stannis, how are you?
And I'm just going to check this. You notice that he seems a bit stronger than before as he knocks over two of you. Alice is lucky enough that she's more towards the back, but Penton and Milo, you are now kind of on the floor, being
That's the
squeezed,
stronger
hugged.
one, obviously.
Glad to see you back to your old self. Ow.
Xanis gets off and proceeds to make a point of going and hugging every single party member, including Jasper. And there's no concern, there's no fear. And Xanis looks at you all and goes, "So what happened yesterday? I remember we were gonna go and fight the werewolf, and then I woke up in the infirmary. We must have got him, right? Oh, and Jasper's back. I'm happy Jasper's back. Hey Jasper, we beat the crap out of a werewolf. Where are you? You missed it."
Yeah, we did.
It's at
Oh,
this
dear.
point that I'd like
It's a
everybody to
concern.
roll an insight check.
Oh my god, I rolled a nat
It's
one.
not a hard thing to figure
Oh my
out.
god,
Okay?
where did my fucking dice just go?
If this is like anything above a 2, forget it. Come on.
Hey.
Why is the font different?
Anyway, from top to
Hey,
bottom,
hey.
Alice,
Nat 20.
Mira,
11.
Jasper,
21.
Milo,
I rolled a... Where's my insight again? 5 total, but nat 1.
Oh my god. Going so well for
and
you.
Penton.
8.
Okay, well, fortunately enough, everybody apart from Milo and Penton succeeded. It's very clear that after being shook at such an extreme force, a combination of shock, stress, and mild hypoxia means that Xanis was not conscious to remember being shook about like a dog toy, or the fact that it was shown off that Jasper was the werewolf that evening. He doesn't remember any of it.
Oh dear.
The only ones who haven't completely clicked to this yet are Milo and Penton. But my reasoning for why Milo, the trained medic, hasn't fully clicked yet is just inability to comprehend of just, wait, how the fuck?
Don't worry, my brain cells aren't with it today either.
It's
Well,
fine.
Are they ever?
It's in mode. But, yeah. So, from what is clear, Xanis does not remember any of it at all.
I'm gonna tell him.
Is anybody going to stop Jasper from telling Xanis?
I just tell him to do it gently.
I'm not gonna be like, hey, fucker.
Hey bitch, did you know that I almost chewed your head off like a chew toy?
You were perfect ragdoll. Brrr. Insert
I'm
motorbike noises.
Oh my god.
I'm gonna just like, I'm gonna say, hey, Xanis.
What?
What happened is, I was the werewolf, and you got pretty hurt, and I'm sorry.
Silly Jasper. You're not a werewolf, you're a human. Look at you, you're squishy. And he proceeds to poke you in the forehead and then in the arm. You can't be a werewolf, you're too squishy. Anyway, if you guys are done playing a funny joke on me, let's go have lunch. And then he takes a second and goes, wait, what time is it again? Wait, not lunch, dinner. And then proceeds to basically sprint out the room as you can smell a pretty damn tasty meal. And a lot of time has passed. It's starting to get towards the later end of the evening now. Following Xanis out the door is Lupus. and it seems like the rest of you have been left together. All of you, bar Xanis, are in the room now. Is there anything you would like to say to each other before you go and get food?
Food.
So, everyone recovered from the werewolf incident then?
I think so. I had a really good nap.
Oh, well, I'm really glad you had a good nap.
It was so good. I did dream about face planting the floor though.
Okay.
Wow, amazing.
I
How
know.
is everybody holding up?
Oh fuck my computer. Don't worry, I only. Don't worry.
Oh.
Don't
That
worry.
bad, huh?
Don't worry about it.
What's the computer?
Anyway,
God. I'm not talking in the Milo voice, mate.
yeah. Anyway,
No meta.
Oh Jesus Christ! For fuck's sake.
Oh my God.
recovering from that. Back in character, people. Come on, get it together.
I'm holding it together.
Are you though?
I have a few words for you outside of session.
DM me, bitch. I'm ready.
Anyway, ladies, please contain your potentially lesbian insult fest later.
Fine.
I'm totally not T-posing in my chair.
Wouldn't you be like L posing?
No,
But, like,
I'm
You'd
T-posing
be
it.
an E.
No, it's a T because I'm leaning at a diagonal in my chair while waiting for brain cells to kick in.
Oh my god, that's so cool.
Let us on.
It's us roleplay, god damn it.
Anyway,
Back to D&D.
back to D&D. Yes, please. If any of you have anything to say to each other before you leave the room, please do so. Otherwise, we will roll straight into the next segment.
Cries.
Myself and Alice drunk.
I would assume no, because
Oh, okay.
that would have pretty much completely invalidated the point of you going to sell said Warhammer in the first place.
It's expensive.
Yes. Yes, it is.
Fair enough. I have nothing to say.
Okay, I'm gonna look at Carl and just say, okay.
So, as you look over at Carl, because nobody's actually taken a moment to look at Carl, or acknowledge what's happening with Carl at the moment, you realise Rosemary has loafed. She's loafed in a particular position, and the only thing visible of Carl right now is his head and shoulders, and basically everything from his arms upwards. That's the only part that's visible, as Rosemary has proceeded to loaf on top of Carl, and nobody has gone anywhere near the bird, but she has screeched multiple times at anybody who approaches. So, yes, Carl is definitely in this room. He's just currently underneath Rosemary.
By choice or?
No.
Choice? You think
Mother
you got
hen.
a choice?
Wait, is he alive? Is he here?
Yeah,
Is he with us?
he's alive. He's alive. He's
Dude,
fine.
what?
He's conscious.
Oh,
He's been
He's just.
smothered to death. in
Did you
feathers.
just say what I think you just said, Alice?
What did you say?
Alice, did you just say, can I shove Rosemary off? Because I swear to God.
Yeah, I did say that.
Alice, no!
Alice, no!
Alice, are you going to go through with that? Ignore the rest of the group. Are you going to try and push Rosemary off of Carl?
Yeah.
Alice, no.
Alice,
It
that's
has
extremely
been 3 minutes.
territorial.
You have gone back to being stupid again.
I'm extremely territorial too.
I thought you were territorial of me.
Yeah, and if you were stuck under a big bird, I would shove the bird off of you as well.
Alright,
Oh, that's
Alice.
actually so nice.
As you approach.
Milo tries to intervene.
Milo, what are you going to try and do to prevent Alice from trying to shove this big, basically, what, I think the bird is like nearly 6-7 foot in size?
Yep.
What are you
I'm
going to try and do?
I'm going to stand in her way.
Okay, Alice, Milo is now currently standing in your way as you proceed to try and push the bird.
Let's come back. Don't be stupid.
What? No one else is going to help Cole. Okay, well, I guess I see how it is, you know? I was trying to be nice.
You might peck your head off.
That thing will maul
I'll
you.
stab it before it pecks my head
Don't
off.
you dare.
Oh dear.
How dare you?
Milo, please do not. And this is the first time that Carl has spoken up this entire time, because he's just chilling. Alice, I appreciate your concern, but I promise you I'm quite fine. It's actually quite warm. I was a bit cold in the infirmary. Some blasted idiot had the windows open.
You don't actually want rescuing.
Of course not. She's just being...
Well, Maria, if you were ever stuck under a big bird, I would rescue you. And Penton.
Wait, why Penton?
Yes,
Because
I'm with
was?
Mira here. Why Penton?
Well, because Penton's a nice man.
Why were you two so close?
Oh, well, I don't know. Am I not allowed to be close with a man? Is that too much for you?
Carl rolls insight.
It's not about that. It just can I take Alice over to the side?
As you're doing that, Carl rolled an unnatural 20, so 16 plus 4 for insight, and is currently glaring at Penton as though to say, "What the hell have you done?" But then proceeds to try and get Rosemary to stop scritching the back of his head as the bird has moved its head down.
And what are you looking at?
No, never mind.
That's what I thought.
Rosemary, can you stop? And the bird, you just witness as Rosemary has lowered her head down, is currently using her beak to just gently scratch the back of Carl's head. But she's obviously not fully comprehend the fact that Carl is not at full recovery yet, so he's very, very sensitive in, every regard of everything it hurts.
I think Penton is currently washing dirt off of his face. The earlier con.
Yeah. No, you are... I would say that you've had time to clean up before anything. So, I would like to ask the group the following. Assuming you're all gathering in one space, have any of you brought your things with you? Don't ask why, but I need to know whether you have just unkitted everything and just, your normal wind-down routine of, leaving all your shit in your room and then going to have food before returning to sleep or bathe or whatever.
I like to
Conscious
think
for
that
20
Penton
minutes
takes the
and
cane
I-
wherever he goes because it's a cane.
Okay. Has anybody
And
else...
the cards are just a pack of cards.
Yeah. Has anybody else made a habit of carrying these things on them, or have you left your belongings in your room where they are perfectly safe? Do not ask why do not question why I'm asking you this. I need to know for reasons.
I mean, I only have my diary, right? Because my clothes and everything, and
Yeah. I mean,
That's 'cause
you have
Paul-
you have some replacement clothes that are just kind of generic.
we'll have to go
clothes.
clothes shopping later. Because
Yeah.
I'm
Oh my
very
god,
fat.
can we go?
They're basically like generic shirt, trousers, robes. Your typical sort of scholar outfit. Think when I asked you to draw K's art, the scholar reference I sent you, it's very similar to that.
Alice probably has her stuff on her just because she's been out with Penton.
Fair. Okay, so you're all in the you've all eventually made your way into the dining area, where you have food, You return back to your rooms. Casual bait and switch. Where you all return to your rooms and are settling down for the night. And surprisingly enough, Xanis and Kay are not in the room. As there's a little bit of an awkward moment where you're like, wait, where the hell have they gone? And Father Bear basically mentions that Kay, after the recent event, Xanis has gone to go and see Lupus and Ziffy, and Kay has gone to go and see her father Lilac, who are both currently preparing to settle down for the evening. So you're all just, getting ready to sleep. Sorry, I'm trying to find the... Is it this one? I think it's this one. There it is. Perfect. So, there's an uncomfortable feeling in the air as you're all trying to rest. Something feels off about this night. There is a tension in the air. But most of you managed to drop off to sleep. Though, I'm assuming, Milo, you're still keeping a very, very close eye on Jasper.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dare I say, during all of this, there's a strange anxiety in the air. Something doesn't feel right. Maybe it's the fact that you guys are sleeping in the same room as two werewolves. Maybe it's the fact that things just don't feel the same. Or maybe, just maybe, you guys are just worked up from the evening. Are any of you going to be getting up and moving from where you are? Or are you just going to try and sleep for the evening?
Man.
Marlo probably get up.
Okay.
I'm gonna draw something.
Milo, are you gonna sit with Mira and do some drawing or something? Or are you gonna go for a walk?
Marlo's gonna go for a walk to try and settle his mind.
Okay. So as you're wandering, you end up encountering... Oh, where is it? You end up encountering Asta, of all people, who seems to still be sitting at that table, heavily studying what's in front of him. Do you want to approach Asta?
Sure, why not?
Asta looks over to you as you approach. Oh, hello. How are you?
Good evening. I'm alright, I suppose. How are you feeling?
Yeah, I've been better. It's a strange night tonight. Feels like something's wrong, you know?
I agree. It's unsettling.
Perhaps it's just after the recent werewolf attack, you know?
Maybe. And then there was also the... How do you say the Abaddon thing? Is it Abaddon?
It's... let me try and type it out phonetically.
Thank you. Abaddon.
Yeah, there you go. Perfect.
Then there was also the Abaddon that we encountered in the woods whilst trying to find someone. Something's just not right.
Yeah, I can certainly agree with you there. Something doesn't sit right. But I don't know. It seems like you and the Lavandar kid are getting along well.
She's very nice.
Heart of gold, that one, just like her father.
Kind of I don't think I've ever heard much about her father.
Ah, well, Lilac. He's one of the elites. He's supposed to be their healer. He's quite a gentle soul, though certainly a sassy bastard when he wants to be. I think one of the nice things is seeing the Lavandar kid just break out of her shell. I don't know if you've seen her around Mira, but she looks like she's got a jar of bees stuck up her backside, you know? She just seems annoyed constantly. Though I can't blame her. That Atisa girl is not exactly the brightest banana in the bunch, we'll say that.
Definitely not. Although I can't fault her with how long her parents kept her essentially locked away.
Well, when I say we, I refer to Lupus, but the guild tried to resolve that, but as I'm sure you can imagine, stubborn nobility is stubborn and will never listen to someone they see as below them. But it is what it is. Anywho, you should probably start making your way back. It's getting pretty late.
Yeah, but thank you for the talk.
Oh, it's quite alright.
Milo will get up and start leaving.
Okay. So, sorry, I'm just trying to adjust the music because it's going to be slightly loud. Okay, so as you're on your way back, you end up returning to the room, and it's pretty nice. You feel very relaxed, and you manage to drop off to sleep. Everybody drops off to sleep. It's so late at night that staying up is just absurdity at this point. You were told by Father Bear that Xanis and Kay will be making their way back into the room with the rest of you when they were done spending time with their fathers. Oh, perfect, that's a nat 20. All of you
Oh, for fuck's sake.
are woken up by the horrific screeching sound of a siren. We're talking like World War II air raid siren. And it starts echoing through the entire building. And you hear bells ringing and people are shouting, "We're under attack! We're under attack!"
Gun. Rilla. I need to reload my gun. Oh my god.
What is happening?
We're under attack, didn't you hear?
Is there a
Wait.
window there? Can she run
Yes.
through
There's
the
some
window?
K in here.
As you look out the window, Alice, you see a tidal wave of undead. Large numbers of Abaddons, skeletons, different types of zombies, horrific abominations that I'm going to describe as an amalgamation of body horror, rising from the ground and charging straight for the guild. The village has the space between the village and the guild hall is just encircled with undead that are swarming the entire guild. The alarms are going, bells are being rung, people are screaming their lungs out. It would seem that whoever was having that off feeling, which seems like most of you, this is why. You were currently being attacked by an undead army. Suddenly makes sense where all those missing people went. Mace has gotten cocky and is attacking the guild as we speak. Alarm bells are ringing, and no, Milo, Xanis and Kay are not in the room. They are missing completely.
Oh my god.
I'm in the room, right? It's not me. It's not me this time.
Everybody apart from Xanis and Kay is in this room right now.
Shit.
They are the only two
Well, let's
missing.
get out of the room and
Buffering.
into the fray, I guess.
Crying uncontrollably.
Okay, so you
I'm running downstairs or whatever.
Okay,
Let's
so
hope there was Lupus and Lilac, because we can't fight those things.
you sprint out of the building. You are running for everything you're worth. Like, pretty much everyone is here. Even all of the elites that are in the building have been dispatched to resolve this threat. You can see that different guild groups are dealing with undead that are trying to spill through the entranceway. It's just a fucking massacre. Like, there are undead everywhere. All of the guild groups are either fighting or struggling to survive. As unfortunately, there are some places that, or some of these groups, that are just exclusively mages. So they have no chance in hell. It is kind of amusing to watch, but out of the guild's gardens, there is a swarm of shrubs streaming out the front door to try and block up the entranceway. These shrubs seem sentient, and that's where you see the first of the Wolverine elites. Summer Rosefall, the elite's druid, currently trying her hardest to direct all of these shrubs into the entranceway to try and block the tide of undead that are making their way inside the building. Obviously failing. So you also then witness the rest of the elites, though some of them half-dressed, some of them fully plated up, are just cutting a swath through the tide. You still have not seen Xanis or Kay. You haven't seen Lupus, you haven't seen Ziffy, you haven't seen Lilac, but the rest of the elites are out there fighting. Even Aster and the rest of his group are out in the midst of this undead horde, trying their best to fend these waves off. But you have not seen.
Lots of killing.
What are you
I
guys
think
doing?
we should join the big group and then keep on with them. Whoever the biggest group that's fighting right now.
About that, Jasper, the biggest group is outside in the front courtyard. You cannot leave the building without being paralyzed. I just want to point that out. So, it might, like, if you're going to suggest the rest of the group go outside, you will be the only one left in the building still on your own. Just to iterate.
Are there windows that I could just, like, throw spells out of?
Potentially, yeah.
Okay, I'll do that then.
So you guys are, I'm assuming you guys are going straight in to try and fend off the horde that is on its way in.
Oh yeah.
During this...
Trying to this much
Yes.
firepower.
Okay. During this, Penton, you are pulled away from the group, from the entranceway by Lycus, who proceeds to basically have you requests that you cover his back as he intends to push more towards the front in a vain concern that maybe Xanis and Kay are hidden in the main some of the gardens that are littered across the entrance pathway up between where the village is and where the guild is, like the little sprouts of greenery or gardens. Ooh, this is perfect. Hold on. There we go. So, Lycus is basically wants your help trying to find where the two kids have gone, because it seems like the Wolverine elites don't know where they are. They have vanished.
Okay. Get the way.
Okay, so Penton and Lycus have separated off from the rest of the group and are currently slinging cards. Well, Lycus is slinging cards. Penton, I'm assuming you're using a sword cane, and you are
Yeah, sure.
you are basically doing your best to keep them off of Lycus, but considering a lot of the monsters that are going after Lycus are Abaddons. You're not really able to do much against them until Lycus nukes them with his cards. Milo and Carl. Milo specifically, what are you planning to do? Kay is missing. And so is Xanis. You and your brother and Rosemary might have the best chance of covering large areas.
Do we have any items that smell of either Kay or Xanis?
There are bed sheets in the room.
Guess it could work. We could try. Milo would tell Carl. Should we try and search for Kay and Xanis using Rosemary?
Yes, brother, that would be a brilliant idea. I don't know
Quick,
where
let's
they've
go-
gone, but this horde is horrific. I can only hope that
Let's
the
go back to
missing
the
people... Carl kind of makes a connection that, hold on a minute, all those missing people that we were looking for, some of the physical descriptions match the clothing pieces that some of these zombies or skeletons are wearing.
There's not much that
However-
we can do for them now.
In agreement, you guys go back to the room and try and get Rosemary to get scent of either of them. And she immediately looks out of the window.
No.
Milo, can you roll me a perception check with disadvantage, please?
Fucking stay in the bloody thing.
Stay in the tray.
Stay in the tray, because I'm annoyed it's at disadvantage because the other one's a nat 20, but it's a total of 16.
Okay, yeah, just about. You see in the distance a heavily robed figure retreating with two bags that are being dragged across the ground. But you can only assume that it can't be Xanis and Kay. They were inside the building. They should have been inside the building, making their way from Lupus and Lilac, respectively, back to the guild room. So you just assume that another group has been unlucky enough to have a couple of hostages taken. Because there's no way that any of the undead would be that intelligent, and there's no way that Mace would try and make his way in. These are the anxious thoughts that run through your head of little fears in the back of your mind. Almost feels uncharacteristic for you to be this anxious about something. Like some small spark has been set off in you.
My brain is shutting down. Error 404. Hold on. Fuck. Carl, do you see that?
Yes, brother. I guess these undead are intelligent, but wait a minute. And Carl tries to... Oh, that's an 20! Whee!
Damn you!
Helpful.
Damn you!
Carl points, and you see for a brief moment, as he points out, this figure that's sprinting away with these two bags. You see a red hue flash very briefly as it seems like the cloth turns back towards you and then away.
No. Oh shit. We need to go back to the others.
Carl hops on the bird inside the building and basically drags you onto the bird and starts bolting it down the hallway. Meanwhile, Mira,
Hello.
you've been trying to help with the undead that are in the courtyard, basically, and yourself and the rest of the group have been pushed back inside the guild. Even the elites all of the elites are still out there in the field, but yourself, the rest of the party, and a couple of other groups are struggling to hold the entranceway. Even the en masse tidal wave of awakened shrubs that Summer was trying to use to block the entranceway before she left the building are starting to be torn to pieces.
Oh god.
There is still no sign of Lupus or Ziffy. However, you do see a very familiar male figure that looks almost like a taller, more masculine version of Kay. Is what your brain initially takes it in as. But you realise that Lilac Lavander, Kay's father, has come to the entranceway and is trying to help.
Lilac! Can I go and join him then?
Yep. Does anybody want to try and find out where the hell Lupus and Ziffy are during all of this?
Yes.
Okay, Jasper. So you decide, you know what? Everyone else has got this. We need to get the Guildmaster, because there is no way that the Guildmaster and his right hand are missing this. We need them. So you end up sprinting off towards the Guildmaster's office. To which, halfway down the hallway, you find said Guildmaster and Ziffy in the middle of fighting this. I can only. Sorry, I need to find what this is again. But it's grotesque, is the best way I can describe it. Let me find it.
Oh god, what am I about to see?
Me on a Sunday morning. No. Where is it? Ah! Yes, there we go. You find in front of you what I can only describe as... let me find the image because this will help me. What I can only describe as like a head. It looks like a large skull with like pointed horns and almost like scythe hands. It's a creature known as the Death Scythe, which is a goat. It's a type of ghost. I've just put up an image in the chat for
That
you.
is fucking weird.
There are a few.
Oh my.
There are a few of those, and when I say a few, there's like well over half a dozen.
Jesus.
The Guildmaster and his right hand are currently trying to annihilate in the middle of this entranceway. And it looks like they're trying to push towards the Guildmaster's office.
Okay, I will help them from a distance. Provide support.
Okay.
Provide support.
So I'm just gonna presume that you're like using your tome here to your tome
That's
in
my
light
magic.
arts. Yeah,
Sorry.
to hit him from a distance. So, as you're doing your best to try and provide support, it takes a couple of minutes, but the death sides go down. And Lupus just kind of nods in your general direction before sprinting towards his office. Are you going to follow Lupus? Oh my god, sorry. Are you going to follow Lupus? Or are you going to try and ask Ziffy to go and help them at the front? Because if they've been here this entire time, it's safe to assume they don't know that the guild's entranceway is about to be breached.
Tiffany, the entranceway is about to be breached. I'll just say that, yeah. They need your help.
I'm going to assume Pendon's not back yet. No. So as you inform Ziffy of this, he doesn't look too pleased about the fact that you're the one delivering that information to him. But Ziffy himself basically loads his weapon, starts bolting it down to the entranceway. Are you going after Ziffy? Or are you going to be following Lupus?
Lupus. I want to go with him because
Okay. So, trying to move around the incorporeal remains of these death scythes, you proceed towards the direction that Lupus went. Presuming that Zippy will be more than capable of handling what's at the entrance. And you arrive. And the sight that you are greeted to is more than unpleasant. As on the Guildmaster's door, there is a letter that's been stapled there, bless you, Mira. There is a letter
that was awful.
that has been stapled to the Guildmaster's door. However, Lupus is currently has basically started fighting more death scythes that are trying to push their way down the corridor towards you. Whatever Mace has managed to gather, he is very much trying to get this entire guild wiped out. What are you doing? Are you gonna read what's on the note?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm gonna read it.
As you open the note, it reads, You have my corpse, the one that belongs to me. I have two little presents for you. You will get them unharmed, provided that I get back what is rightfully mine. And then it's signed in blood. From Mace.
Does he want Mado or Abraham?
If you're not certain,
I'm not certain.
then you can take it back to the rest of the group. It seems at this point like the undead start retreating, which is very uncharacteristic for an undead. However, the death scythes are still fighting on. However, due to the overwhelming numbers of the guild versus maybe a dozen of them left, they're very quickly wiped out. And everything is silent again. Jasper, you make your way back to the rest of the group, who are Penton has now returned from his trip outside with Lycus, and everybody else from your group specifically have basically been told to return to your room, as they will need to assess numbers and work out if everybody made it out, and who could have potentially perished during that fight. As you return to the room, you realize that neither Kay or Xanis have appeared. They are still missing.
I'm gonna show everyone the note and say I think Kay and Xanis are still alive, but that he has them.
It would seem like the observation that Carl made earlier when you and Carl were looking through the window, that retreating red gleam in the distance from that figure, that wasn't some intelligent undead, that was Mace himself. It suddenly clicks. Two of your fellow guild members have been taken.
I'm attacking!
I
Attacking
need to go tell Lucas.
Attacking everyone and everything.
So, it seems to have calmed down now. the undead are being cleared away, and it seems like a couple of the more necromantic guild members are using some of their magic to clean away the undead by either having the clerics purge them, or having the necromancers reanimate them, or, you know, dispose of them in a more natural sense. But as you go and find Lupus, all of you bar Xanis and Kay are here in this room with both Ziffy and Lupus as they are trying to work out. Oh, it's a ladybug. Hello. Sorry, I'm getting distracted. There's a ladybug on my desk. Did I ping you?
ADHD be like.
You're black and red. You're primarily black with red colouring.
Oh god, that's an infector. Okay, you need to get rid of that. Black ladybirds.
That's fine.
Black ladybirds are like diseased. You need to get rid of it.
Yeah, I mean... Right, where is the murder tea-towel? Hold on. If you guys want to just discuss amongst yourselves what the hell you're going to approach these two about, then yeah. Also, remember, I am not muting the stream right now.
We need a plan.
Let's say rude things while he's not here. Talk about, I don't know, sex or copyrighted material, or
Oh, it's a Harlequin ladybug.
Currently playing.
Awake right now.
Holding out for a hero from Shrek 2.
Don't.
That's what's on my Spotify.
I swear to God, you get me fucking copyright, I will kill you. Anyway, I am back.
What did you do with the ladybird?
Set it free, please.
I grabbed it and I put it in a bin bag. If it gets out, then it's on it. Otherwise, it's dead. Anyway.
Ladybirds can fly.
It's crawling out the side of the bag.
Smart.
Oh, fuck's sake. I'm gonna have to. Hold on. So, do you guys want to discuss amongst yourselves how you're going to approach Lupus and Ziffy with the information that both Lupus and Ziffy's child and Lilac's child have been kidnapped, and try and work out how you want to approach that while I murder the fuck out of this ladybug?
yeah, maybe someone on better terms with them two should break the news.
Brax Knuckles,
We
Godfather time.
We shouldn't dance around the point. We should just get to it.
Yeah, but not me.
Of course not you.
What about Maria?
I'll just sit in the back.
Good.
Or Jasper?
Please don't. Jasper is not in. So don't.
Maria.
No one's
It'd
gonna
be like,
books. No one's
you.
as bad at books as Jasper is.
If he's gonna be like, it was you, Jasper, I know it, you bastard.
Maria.
Being coerced.
Yes, you're gonna tell Lupus and Ziffy
Tell them what?
that we lost their child.
Their child is dead. Okay, cool.
Anyway,
I'm
back now, so
You did not say that!
whoever's starting, please start.
Maria.
Well, I'm just telling them that Kay and Xanis are gone.
Mm-hmm.
I'm being called. I'll be back in a minute.
Okay, good luck.
I don't know how to say it. Why am I laughing?
Because you're nervous.
Yeah, I'm gonna get the shit slapped out of me. I can tell.
Give him the note and say that I found it on Lupus's door.
Yeah, can I hand him the note?
Okay.
Guildmaster Ziffy, I think you should probably have a look at this.
Are you passing it to Lupus or the Guildmaster? Like, Lupus?
Lupus
Lupus or Ziffy, i.e. the Guildmaster or his right hand.
I'm gonna pass it to Lupus. I almost said Ziffy. I want Loopy Loo.
Okay, Lupus takes the note reads it, and immediately goes from an expression of relief that, oh my god, we managed to deal with that without anybody dying, to one of immediate anger, and passes the note to Ziffy, who, after reading it, looks like he's about to implode. Eyes are immediately set on Penton. And then the rest of the group.
Hope that didn't go through.
So I think Zephy's probably going to end up pointing his gun at Penton.
Okay! So yeah. Ziffy points his gun at Penton. The sniper rifle itself has been loaded fully.
This is all your fault!
Jesus Christ.
None of this would have happened if you weren't here. Why the fuck did you have to come here?
Put down your weapon.
As Ziffy has a massive outburst, Lupus stands up and walks between Ziffy's sniper rifle, the end of it, and stands between that and Penton. Ziffy, get it together. Remember, you are not the one that makes the calls here. I appreciate that you are concerned for our son, but throwing blame doesn't help. Go outside. We can work through this in a minute. I need to work out what happened. I appreciate you're upset. So I'm gonna take this group. We are gonna go and find Xanis and Kay. Okay?
Okay.
And I will go with them. Which means that I need you to run the guild while I'm away. Alright? Just calm down.
Okay.
Go. Off you go. I'll come let you know what the results are.
Okay. Love you.
Love you too. And at this point,
Oh.
Ziffy leaves, looking very, very angry, but also very crestfallen and concerned. Before Lupus immediately snaps round to look at the rest of the group with a look of anger. Right. Start talking. Start explaining. We could potentially have weeks or a few minutes before they are in danger. So, did anybody see anything?
No.
Oh, and I did. Sorry.
Speak up. And Lupus immediately looks at you both with a very, very cold gaze. This is the kind of gaze that, some sort of animal will give to its prey before it kills it.
We went back to the guild room to see if Rosemary could catch a scent. She looked outside the window. In the distance, we saw a figure dragging what looked to be 2 bags away. Carl pointed out something red, and we realised that it was now mace. Most likely taking Xanis and Kay away. And this was, what direction is our guild room, actually? Which way is the window facing?
The window that you were looking at would have more faced towards the south of, more south facing.
Wherever Mace was taking them, they were heading south, I'm guessing.
Right. Well, let's put it this way. Until my son and Lilac's daughter are back here, safe with us, you will have me to deal with. I will be temporarily helping your guild group, because, quite frankly, you're all amateurs. You haven't had the over 50 years of experience in this that I have, and quite frankly, I don't trust anybody else to look after my son. I will also be making sure that you, and he looks at Penton with a very, once again, that same cold killer look. I'll be making sure that you haven't been the one that double-crossed us. Because quite frankly, I don't care that I'm going to expose you to the rest of this group. I know you worked with Mace. He may have left you for dead, but I'm not entirely sure if I can trust the fact that you've moved past working with him, or whether you're in some sort of coerced relationship. So you'll be proving to me on this mission that you aren't working with him. Quite frankly, I can forgive what Mr. Hyde did, but to directly put my son in the hands of some insane maniac and let that stand is not going to happen. You will be under my watchful eye. We will be heading to the town of Floss, slightly to the south of here. There is a crypt that I believe... that I have reason to believe your previous affiliate has taken refuge in. And you will be the one that kills him. Do you understand, Mr. Alano?
Sadly, Guildmaster.
The rest of you, please prepare yourselves. We will be leaving and departing soon. Have Chrysilla tend to your injuries, and we will be heading towards the town. Actually, no. We'll leave in a few days. We need to scout out. We've still got people scouting out the area, and I need to make sure the other groups are ready.
So,
Lupus frowns for a moment before looking down at the letter, and much to the group's concern, sniffs it, and recoils in horror. On the letter, it mentioned about how his presence will be returned without harm. However, Lupus looks up to the rest of the group. This letter, the blood signing it is a mix of their blood. He's cut them, or injured them, or worse. I pray for the sake of the rest of you that we get them back unharmed. I may be able to control Zippy's temper when he gets upset, but quite frankly, I won't have the heart to stop him putting most of you 6 feet under, should either of them end up harmed. The rest of you, I would like to get ready. Mr. Alano, I'll speak to you later. I need to clarify a few things with you to make sure that I understand this Mace character properly. And I've scattered a lot of you. Go.
I'm getting out of here.
Yeah, I fucking scatter. I scatter.
Okay.
Little rat.
So, you all are asked to leave. And as you're made to leave, it kind of starts to sink in that this upcoming mission, you don't know much about this person, but apparently Penton knows more about Mace than he's originally let on.
Hmm.
Do any of you wish to interrogate him about that?
Yeah.
Not right now. Milo's just.
Someone should.
I don't know if
someone
we've already
should.
headed back to the guild room, but if we haven't, Milo's just heading back to the guild room.
I'd like to interrogate him.
Okay, go for it.
What is going on?
What exactly do you mean?
How are you involved in this? Oh, don't stop.
Mace was my partner. Up until
And he's still your
a
partner?
few months ago. I did not know he was a necromancer. I did not know anything about him, to be honest. Compared to what I know now, I'm not a traveling merchant. You've probably guessed that by now. I'm a con man, and he was my partner. And recently, he betrayed me and left me for dead at the hands of a gang. And that's how I ended up here. So no, he is no longer my partner.
Really? So you've been lying to us this whole time?
Yes.
Well, what else have you been lying about?
That's pretty much it. That's my story. Take it or leave it.
You're faking who you are. Can
Yeah.
I whip out my short sword
Do it.
and roll intimidation?
Yep, roll intimidation. Penton, make a charisma save, please.
Christmas save.
Mm-hmm. Base save, not using the magical bonus.
Yeah, I need to turn that off.
15.
Combat, isn't it?
It's under saves.
No,
It's-
they're turning the tempo stuff.
Oh, yeah. Alice, you might want to do that for your intelligence as well, because the fairy tonic would have worn off by now.
Oh yes, I forgot to minus 4 for that. No, you're right.
You were too
Yeah,
smart for your
so
own
just
good.
pop it down as 0 now for the temp
Yeah,
bonus.
so that was my issue. Yep. Yeah, it's still 15.
Okay.
I rolled an 18.
So, Penton, you flinch slightly, but, you know, you really are not affected by this. You've been threatened by so many people before, and you had to deal with Mace firsthand. It makes you
That's
flinch.
Zippy.
Yeah, you've had to deal with Zippy, but more importantly, you've had to deal with Mace directly. You know, Mr. Insane Man, who has been not exactly the best influence on you, but you more flinch at the fact that a weapon is being drawn and pointed at you, not the fact that Alice is in any way, shape, or form intimidating to you.
If you're just like Mace, fight me.
I'm not just like Mace.
Penton,
As
look
far
at
as
your
I'm
ideas,
alive.
chat, please. Penton, can you
What?
please
What?
look at your ideas, chat? Anyway, carry on, but I just need Penton to check that chat, please. But please carry on, but I do also need you to check that chat.
I'm confused now.
Check your ideas. The ideas chat for you.
Yeah, I'm confused by that. I don't know what you're talking about.
Cat.
What?
Chuck, my love.
The cat meowing in the background. So, yeah, Alice is just standing here with her sword drawn.
Tell us about your cat while we wait.
No,
Penton
you can.
is unaffected.
Yeah, Penton is not intimidated at all.
Oh.
So what are you doing? You two are at a bit of a standstill. You're trying to get Penton to fight you, and he is not reciprocating in any way, shape, or form.
You're a pussy then, aren't you? You're not a con man. You just get other people to do the work.
At that, Penton does draw his sword.
Go on, show me what a man you are. You're just a liar, a little chicken.
You don't know anything about me.
No, I don't, because you've
pretend
been
like you
lying
do.
to me.
During this, Carl looks over to Milo and very quietly whispers, "Brother, I think we should probably break this up. This doesn't seem like it's going to go well."
Yes. Sorry, I'm eating really spicy chicken. I hate myself.
It's
I'm not
okay.
having a good time.
It's okay. But
Sexual tension is through the roof.
Oh my god. Ew.
Carl proceeds to stand between the arguing pair.
Milo does the same, back to back. Bullshit with Carl. So, I don't know who Carl's facing, but I'll face whoever's opposite.
Yeah, Carl is facing towards Penton, because Penton seems like the one that he's got the bigger issue with. You two need to take it down, or otherwise we're going to have to forcefully separate you.
Yeah, you already are.
Not what I meant, Alice, but close enough, I suppose.
Just a liar, Penton.
Yeah, that's the way I was raised. That's all I've ever known. So that's all I'll ever be. But I own that.
Do you even like me?
I'll answer that question later.
Right. If you two are...
Alice will put her sword away.
Yeah. Carl, it seems kind of glad that you two aren't going to murder each other. During this, the Mira and Jasper, do you two want to roll me a perception check, please?
Perception. Non-natural 20.
Okay. And Jasper?
Oh no.
Just checking my perception bonus. Let me find it. No, it's not good, but
Yeah, but it's still a bonus, nonetheless.
the sheet takes like 10 seconds to load, I swear.
Yeah, it's because there's a lot of formulas and stuff on it at one time. I gotta do a remake of these sheets at some point to make them a bit more efficient, but for now it's the best I can do. Yeah, what's your perception roll total?
No, 1 second.
Do you want me to grab your bonus for you?
Oh, I have good perception. That's a 10.
A 10?
A 10. 4
A
plus
10.
6.
Okay. Well, Mira definitely catches it, but Jasper, you only just catch it, but you both see Mado smirk in amusement while looking at Alice, and then realizes that you two are looking at him, and immediately the expression drops out of his face.
Why was Meadow smirking at Alice?
Wink at him. I want to wink at him.
Jasper!
He just looks at you with a mildly irritated look of, what? You wanna fucking go? Kind of look.
Jasper! Why?
Oh,
Why did he smile at Alice?
Maybe we should just go. Let's just walk back.
But why? Why?
I don't know. Getting weird.
Wait, don't you smile at people you like? They must be really good friends. Oh my god, Alice is making so many friends. I'm kind of jealous.
Anyway,
I'm just gonna gently lead Maria back.
okay.
Like
well-
by the hand, you're pulling me along.
Yeah, as you guys are done arguing in the hallway, you end up going back into the room. Alice, Penton, are both of you going back inside the room? Or is one of you going in and the other one walking out?
Alice will probably walk out.
Penton, are you staying in the room or are you going to chase after Alice? Do you need me to reground where you are right now to help?
Yes, I came back from the toilet and it has been non-stop since, and I have no
Okay.
idea what's going on.
At the moment, you and Alice have basically had a massive fight in front of the party outside the entrance to your guild room. Mira and Jasper have just gone back in. Alice has left down the hallway. Are you going to go after Alice or after your spat? Are you going to be staying in the room and just letting her do whatever she needs to?
Well, there's not much point going after her,
Okay.
because they don't really know each other yet at all. In terms of kind of in enough shit as it is right now. Yeah, I guess.
Okay. Is anybody going after
Talk to her
Alice?
in the morning.
Fair. Is anybody else gonna be doing anything, or are you guys just gonna kind of let everything
Also?
settle?
I'll go. Me looking at Alice's icon being like, why isn't my mic going green?
Okay. Mira, I'm assuming you're going after Alice.
Yes.
Funnily enough, you find that Mado also goes with you.
Oh, hi, Mado. How are you?
So the two of you are now going after Alice. Nobody, like Carl and Father Bear are not going anywhere near Pendant right now. But you guys go after. Like, so you got two of you going after Alice. The rest of you are just kind of in the room. So. Oh god. Okay. So, Mira, you have caught up to Alice and sorry, fucking hell, brain cells. Alice, Mira, and Mado have both arrived to where you're currently sitting in, like, the dining area.
I can't believe that. He lied. He's been lying to me all along. Mira, don't you see?
Yeah, he's been kind of. Well, I've never met someone quite like him before. Someone that I've not actually been fond of.
I just don't understand. What was the point?
Well, maybe there isn't a point. Maybe it doesn't always have to be a point.
Well, I feel like he's just been lying about everything now, so I nearly whacked him, you know. I would have taken his head clean off. You know how good I am.
Oh, absolutely. Everyone should fear you.
Exactly.
And, well, he probably does deserve it in some ways. I mean, he ripped my book! Which, do I have the book on me?
I'd assume not.
Okay. I need to check the quo. But he ripped that book, and he still hasn't even apologized for it. And when I asked him about why he was acting so callous, he just made fun of it all.
You ripped your book.
Yeah,
Didn't you have like 100 books?
it was the library book we took out.
You take out a library book every 2 seconds.
I know I do, but this one I actually have to bring back. Mum's not going to be very happy.
Oh, she'll never know. We could just buy a new one.
Yeah, but it's not a regular book. I didn't really look at the cover before I took it out. It's an adult book.
Mira!
I didn't pick it on purpose. It was an accident. I gave it to Penton straight away because I opened the book and I saw something nasty and I slammed it closed. Gave it to Penton and I saw him rip a bloody page out.
Oh, they'll never know if it's one page. And
I think
maybe, you know, you're not meant to be looking at it. You're too innocent for this, Mira. What are you doing?
As I said, it was an accident. I think she will notice. She said it was her favourite book.
Oh my gosh. Where is this going?
I just, you know, I try to like everyone, but Penton makes it so hard.
I kind of like Penton, though.
Why?
The mystery, you know?
Mystery?
Yeah. He has a way about him. Don't never really know.
I mean, I can understand that. My mum said
He's
that was
not
what you
noble.
said. But that doesn't mean that he's a good person. I mean, he's a con man after all.
Yeah.
He only thinks about himself, Alice. He's not someone you should really associate with.
I would like to point out, while this is all happening, the only one who, like, you two are having a conversation and Mado is just sitting there very quietly, just listening, not saying anything. He's just listening.
Mado, tell her.
Mado seems to be very, very much holding his tongue. As though he's kind of got an opinion, but it's not something that he's going to voice. At least not under current circumstances.
You can make your own decisions, I trust you on that, but you do need to be careful around him. After all, he did work with the person that's trying to kill us all now.
Yeah. I'm being careful.
Pinky promise?
I'll pinky promise.
Forever.
What? Forever?
Yeah, forever. You know what
Okay.
they say, if you break a pinky promise, it means I get to chop your finger off.
Well, that's a good thing I got 10 of them.
No, okay. Sure. Can I include Mado in the pinky promise?
No. Mado actively abstains from even going near a pinky promise.
Oh, Mado, come on. You barely said a word. In fact, I'm not sure if you even have said a word.
he just once again just kind of grunts and shrugs at you.
Oh.
Sorry, the cat ran at me and like slipped on the floor and then like took
Oh,
out my water bottle.
Chuck, no!
He.
Oh my
Oh
god,
god.
Chuck, no!
that was really funny. I'm sorry.
I wish you could have seen that.
Back to serious conversation.
Mado looks over to you, Mira. Do you mind giving me a bit of room? I wanna have a word with Alice, but you need to be back in the room.
Why?
I think Jasper wanted to have a word with you.
Jasper, I like Jasper. Okay, I'll go see Jasper. Bye!
Bye.
I'll just sprint off.
Okay. Mado looks at Alice. And he really has to think about what he's about to say. So you and Benton. Not exactly the first pairing I would have imagined, but...
We're not together.
Well, you certainly seem to be talking to each other like you are.
Wow, I talked to him. Sure. I mean, I'm talking to you right now.
Well, I'd certainly say there's a tension between the two of you. Perhaps, perhaps you should break that tension. It's quite a strong one. I couldn't tell earlier if you two were about to start fighting or aggressively making out in the corner. But I suppose
Fighting?
it's
I
pretty
was
funny.
gonna take his head off.
Sure, sweetheart, sure. I don't think you'd kill him. You might have the fighting spirit, love, but you definitely don't have the heart to kill another man. At least not yet. You definitely seem to have a bit of a thing going for each other. Why not, well, why not go introduce yourself a bit more personally to him? And if all doesn't go well, maybe I can help curb that rebellious spirit of yours, eh? Anyway, go see the Rabbit Man. I'm sure you two will have a nice evening together. And he starts just chuckling to himself and starts walking away.
So weird.
What are you going to do, Alice? You are currently now on your own.
We just like sit down in confusion and just like question life. It's like, what the hell is going on?
Okay. Anyway, as that's occurring... oh, this is going to be interesting. As that's occurring...
Don't do that, laugh.
Penton.
Yo.
You have been directly called to the Guildmaster's office once again.
Okay.
This time you have been given no escort. Father Bear is not leading you there. You've been asked to come of your own accord. Are you going to go? Or are you going to stay in the room?
I'm definitely gonna go.
Okay. So as you go in, the Guildmaster is actually closing the door to his office and turns to you. Ah, Mr. Orlando. Brilliant. Do you mind coming with me, please?
Sure.
Right, this way. And you end up getting led up a large number of stairs. And after a couple of minutes of walking, you end up on the very top of the Guildhall's like tower, if you will, in the center. And the very top is a big open stone area. Like, it's almost like a little. I'm trying to think of what it is. Trying to think of a comparison. It's a circular stone area that's got enough room for, I'd say maybe like, trying to do the maths. It's like a 30 by 30 foot circle of just stone area. So I have to work out my measurements for a second there. Seems like it's pretty commonly used for stuff like stargazing, or there are like a couple of some astrologian like random odds and sods in a box in a corner, including a star globe that's just kind of sitting there. And there's a strangely soft-looking rug on the ground, which Lupus sits upon. If you could, I would appreciate if you were to join me.
Okay. Then we'll sit down.
Mr. Orlando, be blunt with me. What are your intentions here?
My intentions?
Yes, be honest with me. You are the roguish sort, not exactly the most reputable. I'm sure you've probably taken a life before. You remind me very much of myself when my mother was still the one that I was living with. You're spiteful. You cover all of your tracks, even unnecessary ones.
Okay.
So tell me, what are your actual intentions? You seem lost here.
My original intentions when I got here was to lay low till the heat wore off of me, and then maybe I'd get some money out of this and move on, but I don't really know now. I know that I want Mace dead.
Well, that's certainly the starting bit of encouragement. When we go to the crypt, the rest of your group is aware that we're still scouting the area. We found that Mace is there. I know Mace is there, because my son wears an amulet underneath his shirt. Very similar to a pendant I made years ago for me and my partner. So I could tell it. It was a sort of short-range telepathy, if you will. And that necklace, I made a smaller one for my son, so I could know if he's alright. I can't track what's going on, but I sense fear. But strangely enough, when the two of you went into the town recently and did your little con, you seemed happy. You seem to have taken quite a shining to my son, though I can't work out whether that's for the hope of getting some status between myself and Ziffy, or whether the two of you seem to have almost like a friendship. Come on, open up. You're talking to me, and just me. Ziffy's not here. Gort is still out doing his mission. The rest of the guild is not able to access here. Just me, you, and some. Priscilla sometimes comes up here, but I've told her to stay out of it. I need to know your intentions. Go for it.
when I first met him, when I first met the party, I saw him as annoying. I saw him as maybe a tool that I could get some money from, I could use for my cons. However, over time, I must admit that I have taken a liking. He's a good kid, and it's been weird actually being concerned about someone for the first time in my life.
Funnily enough, have you met Milky yet? The little, the slightly shorter statured white wolvenite amongst my group.
No?
No? I'll have to introduce you sometime. Absolute beacon of positivity that boy is. He and I felt very similarly to him, to how you felt about Xanis. Good person. And I started caring about other people. And you'll find that there'll be a few people that you'll connect with. And what you need at the moment is to make those connections. You're going through a very similar stage that I went through after I separated away from my mother, Lilith. It's not easy, I'll be the first to admit. But those connections that you will eventually form with the rest of your group are what will keep you going later down the line.
I don't understand.
Neither do I. And I run an entire guild.
I've never cared about anyone before. I don't get this feeling. It's weird. It confuses me. It unnerves me.
Yep, and that feeling will never really go away. How do you think I felt when I met Ziffy? When I first met him, it was butterflies and all sorts of anxieties, and initially I didn't really care that much. It was maybe this man would be interesting, but he probably wouldn't like me that much. And all these years later, here we are now. He's my partner, we run a guild together. But that feeling of connections being strange never really goes. But you need to find someone that looks after you in the way that you need. Sounds strange, but
I've never had anyone to look after me. I've always fended for myself. I mean, Ace didn't look after me. He was just my partner.
God, it's like talking to myself from the past. You'll eventually find your own way, but provided that you can deal with Mace after we get Xanis back, after we get Kay back, provided that they're okay. A lot of the guild members will more than willingly help you. You just have to open up to some more of the guild members. I reckon you and Lycus would get along quite nicely. Maybe not the right kind of connection, but a connection that could probably give you some more positive ways to channel that history of yours.
I'll keep that in mind.
And before I send you on your way,
Yes.
when we go to fight Mace, I will be helping your group, but you should be aware that not everyone may come out of this okay. And
I understand.
Quite frankly, I would hope that yourself and the Atisa girl, at the very least, make it out without a scratch. I'm sure Alice can look after herself, and the dragon twins are Karina's daughters. They are more than capable. But just keep an eye out for my son, and try to make sure the Atisa girl doesn't get hurt.
I'll do my best, Guildmaster.
Good man. Now run along.
That's gonna leave.
During this, Mira, you have this
Hello.
strange, like, message in the back of your mind, giving you a very specific route of directions to go. Are you gonna pay attention to that message, or are you just gonna ignore it?
Yeah, sure, I'll pay attention.
So as you follow, you end up bumping into Pendant on his way back, but he seems very, very deep in thought. So you just decide, no, leave him to it. You don't really trust him after what happened with his fight with Alice, and you end up coming up to this large open space, looking under the stars. And sitting on this fluffy rug is Lupus.
Put my music down for this. There we go. Oh, hello, Godfather.
Hello, Mira. How are you holding up?
Good, I think. I didn't realize getting tranked would actually give me so much good sleep.
I should apologize that if you thought that necessary, but we need to have a good chat.
About what?
About you and about your family. I received a letter earlier today from your mother.
Oh no. What did it say?
Would you like me to tell you, or would you prefer to give you the summary?
You can tell me.
Without sugarcoating it, your mother has asked that I don't return you to Caleris.
Why?
You may find this hard to believe, but your father recently killed one of the Atisa estate's butlers after finding out that you had been transferred from one of the Caleris. Well, sorry, not one of. I keep forgetting there's only one guild there because we manage it. But your father has killed one of the butlers in your own home after finding out that you were transferred to my guild. I thought that you should be told about this.
Why would he do that? I can't imagine him killing anyone. Especially not for something like this. I thought he agreed to me coming here.
He didn't. Quite frankly, your father has hated me since all those years ago when I'm sure your mother told you about the Slaven. The days where me, her, and several other friends fought Slaven.
Yes, she has.
Did she ever tell you that your father tried to kill me alongside the one who was chosen by the Crystal of Wind?
Yeah, she mentioned it, but she said that there was a reason.
What if I told you that reason was because he doesn't like the fact that I'm not symmetrical? Something as petty as symmetry.
Is that why he makes me wear 2 flowers instead of 1?
Lupus reaches into the cloak that he's currently wearing and pulls out a very intricately carved and designed knife. And you recognize that on the handle is written in Goblin 4 letters: T-U-K-K. The dagger itself is slightly rusted, as though it hasn't been used in well over half a century. This is the same dagger that your father stabbed me with. Believe me or not, but your mother has asked me to never let you return to Calaris without my specific supervision.
But what about my family? What about everyone else there?
It's not easy, I know. But you are not to return there.
But
I know
it's
hard, but please hear me out. We also learned something else.
What?
We recently found that your father was trapping someone within the ruins of the Seron estate.
But that place has been collapsed for decades. How?
That's what I thought. I was there when the place was brought down itself. Do you remember your mother telling you about a man named Percival?
Of course.
Do you
She
remember?
made it very clear never to associate with someone like him again.
Do you remember what happened? Or has your mother never told you what happened in the estate itself?
She kept it quite vague, but she did say there was a woman and a child. They escaped.
Originally, that child was thought to be stillborn, but it started breathing shortly after escaping the estate. It was a miracle, from what I was told by one of the elites who found this woman running.
You mean to say that the Theron line still lives on?
Yes, quite frankly. Now, your mother will kill me for this, but we recently recovered said prisoner. Your mother got a bit injured from this after your father threw his rapier at her in a fit of anger. It seems that his mental state has been getting less and less stable, but we managed to recover him, and he is a relatively good elf.
Where is
Surprisingly
he?
enough. I can take you to him if you wish.
I guess I should see him. Apologize for what my father did to him. It's hard to believe that, he could be capable of all of these things. I mean, I know he's changed over the years, but it's all piling up. I mean, Mary's just gonna start crying just a little bit.
As you follow Lupus down the stairs, there's a small part of the he leads you towards the furthest backmost part of the infirmary, where Chrysilla has kept it surprisingly well hidden away, but you're led in there, and laying in this bed, I haven't got like a proper art piece, but I do have a very good reference. Actually, no, I'm not going to use that because it looks exactly like a different character. This is just one of the reference images that I'm planning to use. So the chat can just look, like our group chat can just look at this. This is one of multiple reference images I'm planning to use. But
Filth.
laying in the bed in front of you, Mira, is a young man with auburnish red hair that swoops to one side, and his eyes are a soft greyish blue color that goes quite nicely with the reddish brown color of his hair, and he's sitting up in said bed, and Lupus looks to Mira. Well, may I introduce you to Alistair Seron, the last remaining survivor of the Seron bloodline. I'll leave you two to it. And Lupus proceeds to exit. There is a singular chair next to this boy's bed. And he looks at you, kind of confused, but almost with a vague look of having vague familiarity.
Hello there.
Ah, hello there. You must be, Miss Atisa, yes? Alstamira. That's it. Named after a flower.
Yes, my mother always did like those ones. It's on the family crest, but I'm sure you probably knew that.
Well, interestingly enough, did I ever tell you that my, well, I'm sure Sir Crescentfang told you very nicely, but did you know that my mother was a stillborn child? It's quite fascinating to know where my heritage comes from. I've never really left the ruins of the Seron estate. Is Calaris nice?
Yes, it always was quite a nice place, I hear anyway. My mother used to love going around there when she was younger.
Well, I can certainly see why your mother would love that place. Must be a place where things of beauty come from. Why, you yourself are from there, aren't you? Or has my guessing not landed in the right place?
Well, I am in Atisa, so I'm not from Seron's part of it, but I guess we are quite nearby.
Well, it would be absolutely splendid if I could meet your family, but I have a funny feeling your father wasn't too fond of me trying to interact with the noble house that has presided over mine for so long. But, my precious flower, I think that me and you will get along quite well. Provided that you can deal with a bit of household rivalry.
I mean, that sounds quite interesting. Yeah, we can do that, of course.
Wonderful. Be great. It's lovely to interact with you. And
yes.
And that's where I'm going to end the session for today. So thank you all for watching, and have a lovely evening.
Bye-bye.
Bye.